Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we're here to talk about interior defense versus block, which is more important to defending the rim in NBA 2K23. So I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, for the drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, good stuff, and like always, try this one to 2,000 likes. Alright, so as you guys can see, we're on a little sample build right here, 6'7", 250 weight. Doesn't really matter what the build looks like, I just want to showcase what the ratings and the badges look like. So as you can see, for block rating, you only have 3 badges that are applied to for it, but same goes for interior defense. For block though, it's going to be pogo stick, anchor, and chase down artist. For interior defense, it's going to be brick wall, post lockdown, and workhorse. So to start our compare and contrast when it comes to the 2 ratings, the problem with interior defense is that it doesn't apply to certain shot blocking or shot contesting badges down low. For instance, you have anchor, which serves as an interior intimidator, yet at the same time you can't even get it with interior defense. So that does become a problem as far as the case to be made for upgrading interior D instead of block, because like I said, anchor is already the effectiveness of protecting the rim just in general, of getting shot contests, if you ask me. But then like I said, on top of that, you still have things like pogo stick that can allow you to just keep spamming jumps. It also still helps you secure the rebound as well, and as you can see, it actually can be achieved with rebounding for that matter. So you could have high rebounding and not even have high shot blocking and still have pogo stick, and it definitely helps in terms of defending the paint mashers, so to say, the people who are down low spamming pump fakes and just trying to get you to jump and stuff like that. With pogo, you can just keep on doing it, and it really does work, I promise you. And then lastly, for the block, like I said, we have chase down artist. This is a little bit frustrating because the badge is extremely necessary. It's really annoying dealing with the quick dropping people that just constantly like look to shoot the 3, and if you play them too high, the rim run past you. We all know how that stuff goes. It's very simple. So chase down artist is still a very good badge to have. It's just it feels very underpowered. It's not really the capability that it is last year in 2K22 next gen, but to be fair, it was pretty crazy like that. Now to backtrack to anchor a little bit, I want to talk about this badge and its actual utility in terms of doing more than just shot blocking and contesting. This also still gives you more takeover progress. It doesn't say it in the description of it, but I have seen it firsthand. Your teammates getting shot blocks also lead to you getting more takeover yourself if you aren't even the one that blocks it. And again, if you have bronze anchor or higher, you're going to get a lot of takeover towards getting shot blocks, especially if you run rim take. So all of that included, I want to talk about, coming back to the title of the video, which is more important to upgrade, interior defense or block. On the surface, when you're looking at these ratings and the badges and stuff like that and what it all applies to, you would think that it's block, 100% undoubted. It really, like, you should just put your interior defense to around 70 something and you just be cool with it. And anything other than that is just like kind of extra stuff. But I want to talk about the value of actually contesting a shot instead of blocking it in terms of the game. So we're gonna get into the gameplay real quick and show you what I'm talking about. Real quick before we go to that though, I just want to talk about the rim takes. I think that honestly paint intimidation is the best rim take you can run. I don't think stuff blocks is that great. It's still pretty good. And then other than that, I think interior badge drop is probably the worst of them all. Doesn't really matter all that much if you ask me. I would much rather have the paint intimidation. And then like I said, stuff blocks, pretty decent. But overall, rim take isn't super crazy. I will tell you guys something though that I've seen in some gameplay. I'm going to continue testing it. But man, running this takeover event, the heater in the theater, I'm telling you guys, oh man, someone had rim take and it lasted the entire game. And I am not even joking, they didn't have extender or anything like that. It literally lasted for 7 minutes and no extender or anything like that. 7 minutes of takeover. So I don't know if rim take is just glitched and that's just a thing. When you activate it, it lasts way longer or an infinite amount of time. I don't know if that's just a thing in the heater mode either, but I definitely think there's something up with rim take. I'm not exactly sure which one he ran either. That could be another bug with it, but I'm just kind of putting you guys on game with that right now. I will test it a little bit more and maybe we'll come back to that within a week as far as another video. But just initial impressions, someone had rim take for way too long in a game and I didn't know what was up with it, but I've never really seen very many people run primary rim takeover. Alright, so for today's gameplay, I unfortunately didn't get a look at anybody's build or anything like that as far as what overall they were before the game. That just wasn't really paying enough attention. But in today's gameplay, you're going to see the person defending me does have secondary rim takeover. I'll pull it up in the start menu and you'll see it. It's not his primary, but it is his secondary. So he has shot take at the point guard, but has rim take secondary, which is a pretty crazy thing too, obviously. But all that means though to me is that he has really good interior defense and block. But anyway, we'll get moving into the point of interest as far as what we're talking about in today's gameplay, which is going to be this right here, the chase down block ability. Now right here, this is just me goofing and I just go for a reach in instead of a chase down. Thought he would maybe pass to his teammate on the wing, so I wanted to play the lane, while obviously Zeke is the one defender off ball. Obviously Tonic a little bit out of position, so he can't really get this block. This is very unrealistic to ever expect that you can get a block in this situation from either of us. I think either of these would have been a bad opportunity to go for a chase down. We have a smaller defender down here, so he can't do it either. this is really just getting beat on defense on the perimeter. And this is where I think some people talk about interior defense being bad in this game. Well, like I said, Tonic took an overstep to the left right there, and I'm over here going for the passing lane and stuff too. And you can't expect to be able to chase everything down in this game. That's just the simple logic, to be honest with you. Now, like I said, this dude was locking me up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. His whole like build, having that secondary rim take, allows me to know that he has some pretty good interior defense. As you can see, I just miss a slightly right there, and really just on his head. And in my opinion, interior defense truly is what protects you from getting dunked on with the dunk meter. I don't think block rating really matters that much. However, I will say I played against someone that had Hall of Fame anchor with 99 block and literally couldn't even get a contact dunk animation on him one time. That was probably the craziest situation I've seen. I only know this because I lost to him, and I just had to constantly just rim run straight at him with like 99 block Hall of Fame anchor. So anchor also deters you from getting contact dunks as well. But interior defense is what makes that meter smaller, in my opinion. Now, like I said, secondary rim take, he has very good interior defense on this build. It's probably just a given if you ask me. But moving along in the gameplay, like I said, we'll just get to the point of interest with everything here. We have a lot to showcase in this though. So there's a block from Tonic, and this is where I want to talk about how interior defense is maybe a little bit more important than block rating. So this right here, this little strand of this possession, boom, yes, we get a stop. I do understand. It makes them have to reset. However, you don't gain anything from that other than them to just keep on like resetting the ball. And all it does for me and Tonic is we just burnt an adrenaline bar off trying to block that shot. Same with right here. The offensive player didn't burn any adrenaline doing that, yet the defensive player burned his adrenaline doing it, and as you can see, we just are back at square one again. Now he's gonna get rim ran off this. I have to drop down to help Zeke. Now we got another rim run opportunity down low, and then he misses the shot with the interior defense and jumping up for the block, but we still get scored on. So once again, those two blocks and then me getting drove on straight in right here where I jump for it just leads to them getting an offensive rebound and putting it back in. So block rating, as cool as it is and as nice it is for your takeover and stuff like that, and as good it is at stopping people from scoring, it doesn't always mean that you're going to end up getting a stop on that possession, which is a little bit frustrating. But I've known this since I was like 12 years old. I saw Dwight Howard over here like blocking everybody's stuff, and literally when I was like 12, bro, I was like, wow, that was a crazy block. But then like they get scored on in that same possession, and I'm like, oh, what value was that really? Like, yeah, it stopped the dude from getting the score, but it's like the same thing as getting a tip pass, essentially. You're just stopping someone from maybe being in scoring range, but you didn't get a turnover, you didn't get a takeaway. So in my opinion, I think interior defense, hands up, as far as like being if you can play like that, if you're in good enough position, is much better, much more efficient. You obviously don't get out of position as much either. You're going to be right where you need to be. However, you can't afford to always be in that great position. Like this one, for instance, right here. Tonic gets kind of drove by this guy right here. He's obviously out of position, so he has to jump up for that block. I come in off the blitz. If you're an off-ball defender too, I must advise you that if you see your teammate get done like this, where they're just getting kind of maneuvered into that position, he obviously can't play hands-up defense right here, and he goes for this jump. That offensive player is going to look to go up with that every single time if they see that first jump from the defender, because that's by far the best opportunity you can get at taking a shot down low. So if you're an off-ball defender, I say send the blitz and do what I did right here. I love to do this stuff. I think that was a BS goaltending call too, if we're being honest, but to be fair, the game knows better, because at the end of the day, it is computerized, I suppose, but that didn't feel like a goaltend to me. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it like hit rim somehow. I have no idea, but we're unfortunately down 9-4 from the start of this game, and obviously not a lot going right as far as the interior defending for us. I mean, we just gave up multiple buckets off it. I'm getting defended down low by this guy like crazy. He gets a 44% contest on me. This is where I'll give you guys some credit. Obviously, that's a bad shot. That's a bad opportunity. I do have slash takeover. That shouldn't go though. I don't really get that often though, if we're being honest, but maybe it's because I don't take very many contested layups. I mostly go for contact dunks. That right there, I tried the Euro, and he just got me pretty good. But that was 44% contested, and it was hands-up defense. Obviously, he didn't jump at me. So that's where, when it comes to defending slashers, I do think you need to go for blocks, like stuff like that as well. You can't really afford to play hands-up defense very often, so that's when your block comes into play. And that's why I think for defending slashers, I think block is more important. For defending post scores, interior mashing and stuff like that, I think interior defense is way more important. Not to mention, you can still be in good position and just hold your hands up. But anyway, you can see we just had two really good defends on that as well. Obviously, the first one they get the ball back off of, but right here I'm here to help Tonic on that drive-by. I jump, once again, for that matter, and interior defense and block are kind of combining to make this miss as well. As you can see, 100% smothered. And mind you, all I have is like 72 interior defense, 81 block, bronze anchor. That's it. So to kind of recap this possession right here, we're going to start with this point guard obviously having ball. This is the same stuff you just saw, by the way, but he goes for that hop right there. I go for the block, Tonic goes for the block, and obviously we get it. Now if we played hands up defense right there, it's obviously useless. You have to adapt, you have to just kind of like adjust in the moment. Clearly there are situations that you cannot either jump or you cannot play hands up defense. Simple as that. So right there, once again though, is another case of us both burning an adrenaline on defense. I'm down to 1 bar, Tonic's down to 1 bar as well. I mean, it's just a kind of frustrating situation because obviously being able to sit down and play hands up defense is a much better way of going about things, but sometimes you do have to jump like this. So now that was my last adrenaline bar. If I burnt 1 more off going for a reach-in right there or something, I absolutely would not have got a good contest right there. Would have been super slow and sluggish, just not really capable. And that's where, like I said though, in that possession, I want to talk about how, like you can see, that bronze anchor activating right there with the good interior defense and good block rating. I say good, but it's only like 74 or 73 and then like 81 block. But it's good enough to get contests if you're in the right spot. I also will mention too, I did step out of the paint a little bit on both those takes right there. Obviously, you can't just sit right down below the basket and expect to stop someone. Generally, you have to be kind of between them in the basket. Now right there, that's a little crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie. Now, here's the deal. This is sort of anchor as well, which you can credit block rating to, even though I played hands up defense. This is why it's a little bit of a tough, like, kind of conversation to have, because this is open. This should go in, but I have anchor on bronze, and it literally just forces the miss. So that's where block rating, ironically, I don't go for a block at all, but that's where block rating in that bronze anchor allowed me to just literally make that miss, and I wouldn't have been able to do that with only interior defense upgraded. So it's a tough conversation, man. I really do think that you need to have both in this game, but it's a hard one to answer whether which one is more important or not. As you can see, I step out to him right there. This is where, once again, jumping at people gets you in trouble. If you have really good interior defense, that's where you can kind of just stand right in front of them and not even put your hands up. You could probably just defend it well. So it's tough to say. Same with, obviously, as you can see, he has that secondary rim take, so he has very good interior defense, but he's still getting dunked on with the slash take. Slash take's kind of just built different, though. I'm not going to lie. But again, this gameplay really focused on what I wanted to talk about in today's video, where it just was constant different takes to the hoop with different situations in mind, and I can kind of explain my thought process between each one of them. As you can see though, I'm on 0 adrenaline right now, literally just off reaching in and stuff. So this is where I have to play way more in between defense. I have to stay between my guy and the basket. I can't afford to like try for chase downs or use my block rating or anything like that. It has to be strictly interior defense and being in the right spot. But anyway, the rest of this gameplay doesn't really have a whole lot of the topics that I'm talking about. Most of it is used up already of me showing the interior defense situations and the blocks and stuff like that. And actually, to recap the end of this video, we'll just kind of come back to my player builder and just discuss some things. So one more thing I wanted to talk about in today's video is that you can have interior defense with no block rating. That's one interesting thing. However, like I said though, that means you have no anchor, no chase down. You do have pogo stick if you have good rebounding, but that's a tough situation right there if you ask me. I don't think you can do this. Whereas on the other hand though, even though it's possible to have interior defense with no block rating, if we max out that block again and bring our interior D all the way down, as you can see, it pulls block rating down with it. So for us to have Hall of Fame chase down with that 88 block rating, if you did get it, as you can see, you do unlock it at 88, you need to have 68 interior defense to have that 88 block rating. So generally interior D has to stay at least 20 down from the block rating if you're trying to have the absolute minimum interior defense. So as far as anchor though, as you can see, this is unlocked with 93 block for gold. I think it's a very capable thing for a lot of tall bigs. And then obviously we have the 99 for the Hall of Fame anchor. It's a really hard thing to get though, but if you watch the 2K Labs videos or anything like that, I'm telling you, it really is crazy the difference between gold and Hall of Fame. I will say though, I feel a huge difference between none and bronze. Like bronze carries me on that Ben Simmons build with only like 73 interior D and 81 block rating. It goes a long way, man. So I'm a huge fan of bronze anchor, even though it's a tier 3 for me on that 6'9 build. I still run it on bronze when I can, and definitely when I'm playing park. I mean, I don't really need to run brick wall and stuff like that or any of those other like super crazy tier 3s for me other than rebound chaser. So really, I just constantly try and run that anchor. On bronze, it really carries, and it gives me way more takeover for bronze anchor too. But as far as the trade-off though between this stuff, I really do think that you should have pretty decent interior defense. I like these mid 70s, low 70s sort of deals because as you can see, you don't really get a lot of badge points in this area. So I'd rather have like, as you can see, maybe shoot for like 83 to the next badge point, or if you want to be on the mid, like the really bad area of it, but still be doable, 68 interior defense can be okay. I tweeted this recently today though, and I find it really ironic and crazy though, that the general consensus in this community is that you need to have 85 plus for perimeter defense to be able to defend the perimeter. You need to have good elite on-ball defense ability to be able to guard like small guards or ISO or anything like that. But then at the same time, the general consensus for interior defense amongst the community is I have 68. This is plenty good. Why am I getting dunked on? Why am I getting paint mashed? I think it's crazy that like people don't expect the same amount of interior defensive like prowess as they do perimeter D. Like think about the power of 93 Prim D right here, where you get that gold clamps at 92, and then you get the extra badge point right here. You would think of this as an elite on-ball lockdown defender, paired with 99 steal is wrecking havoc, bro. But then when you compare that to interior defense, you don't think of like 93 being necessary. You just think like, oh, I could just put like 62, 68, something like that, and I'll be good. I'm not gonna get mashed down low or anything like that. The only thing you'll think you'll struggle with is maybe like 7'3" dudes like paint cramming you or something like that. But then you're getting dunked on out here and getting frustrated. Which the truth to it all though is that I have a build that has around this and this right here, and personally I can defend the interior very good. Now the problem with that is that I have good vertical too, where I think if you want to be a little bit of a shot blocking kind of jump contesting guy, you might need really good vertical too. I am starting to be a big believer in that. My boy Joey also said that as well, and I think it might be true. You might need to have like some good vert to be able to get the good jump contest, good blocks, stuff like that. But anyway, again, this is capable though, but you have to be in good position at the same time. There is skill to interior defending. People might not want to give it credit for that, but it's the truth. Like, if you're defending a slash and you're sitting right below the basket, you're going to get whammed on all game. But if you step out maybe like 3 or 4 steps and meet him before he can get that takeoff, then you're going to stop him. And I saw some dude talking about like, I'm a 7'3", like 99 block build. Why do I have to even step out the paint to like, he was like exaggerating. He was like, I got to step out to the free throw line to stop these slashers from taking off and dunking on me. What's the problem with that? Come out a little bit less far than that. A free throw line is quite the exaggeration, if we're being honest. If you're sitting outside that cylinder, like where really literally the restricted area, if you're sitting a foot outside of that and just meet them before they can do that, they're gonna have no answer. They have to get finesse with you. They have to hit a euro dunk, a hop dunk, something like that. There's no freaking way they can ever put you in a contact dunk. Even with the meter, for that matter, is extremely hard, especially on an interior defensive demon build like that. Even for this build that we're looking at right here, it would be way hard. And to compound this even more, if someone just uses their X button with no dunk meter, no nothing like that, and just uses their X button or square button, they are not dunking on you, bro. They are not going to make a layup on you when you're that far out on them. When you're sitting there down below the basket in the paint though, literally right underneath the hoop, that's when you're getting messed up. That's when you're getting like beat really bad, bro. And I don't know what to tell you guys other than that. There is plenty capabilities of defending the interior in this game. I really don't get bullied at all. I don't get BS layups made on me very often. I don't get just BS takes like on me in general to even get off. People don't really dunk on me at all either, for that matter, with only these ratings right here. And I don't like, really my build is more like this right here. This is pretty much what we're working with on the other end. So sorry I'm doing like makeshift stuff, but this is literally what I have on the other build. These are the exact ratings, only 2 inches taller, maybe like 3 inches more of wingspan. I think it's 7'7". I don't have the same physicals or anything like that either, but you get what I'm saying. I'm just kind of makeshifting things into like showing you what the ratings are right now. But anyway, to answer the actual question of the video, which is more important, interior defense or block rating? I believe that it's a little bit more important to have block rating. I will say though that, like I said, even if you try and put the interior defense all the way to minimum with this block rating, it's going to force it up. So that's why in general I might think that, because I'm not going to lie, if I had to look at it and review it and say would I rather have 99 block and 25 interior D or 99 interior D and 25 block, it'd be a hard one to answer. I really do think you need to have a pair of both, and you can go a little bit more mediocre on the interior defense in my opinion. I think if you wanted to be elite at one level or be a little bit better in the other than the other one, I would say block should be higher than your interior defense. Mostly for the reason of badge unlocking, like I said. So for instance, like we already showed, anchor, chase down, and pogo stick. Anchor and chase down is a much better like result as far as defending the paint than brick wall, post lockdown, and workhorse is. Not to mention you can get workhorse with your prim D anyway. So really, the only thing that's restricted to interior defense is really post lockdown, because you could even take your interior D down all the way. We'll still have brick wall just off strength. Like we can put our strength to 91, keep that minimum interior defense, and boom, there you go. You still get gold brick wall. So the only thing that interior defense is tied to badge-wise is literally post-lockdown, and that's a very niche thing. Not many people are probably talking about getting beat on drop steps and stuff like that when they're talking about interior defense. It's mostly probably to do to anchor, chase down, maybe some pogo stick. So that's where I do believe blocks are a little bit more important, and then interior defense can kind of just follow suit a little bit, maybe go to these badge cutoffs, so to say, where you can just get at like 68, and then maybe if you want to be the next level of elite with the interior defense, you can go to like 83 right here. So that's my true opinion. I think this makes for a very good defensive build if you have around 83, 87, or like mid 80s on both. I'll just put it like that. But anchor is really where you're living as far as defending the paint as well. So that is block tied. We already talked about that in the gameplay though. And again, like that one anchor, like intimidator sort of deal right there where the dude missed that open layup, that was literally due to my block rating. Unfortunately, that wasn't interior defense, even though I played hands up and it still said open. That's literally just anchor coming into play. So anyway, that's all for the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, for to drop a like, sub, new, turn on noties, all good stuff. Like always, try to 1 to 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put block or INTD, whatever you want to do, like, or just put D, block or D in the comments. Show support's been all the way through. But anyway, that's all for the vid. Hope you all enjoyed. And on that, take it easy, man. Peace.